Parisa Secondary. Parisa is studying Masters in International Relations in Monash University and holds a bachelor's degree in Law and Political Science from Herat University. She has previously served as a lecturer at Law and Political Science faculty at Herat University, currently working with Monash University and as an academic advisor at Legal Wind, which she will explain to us what it is. Recently, she started Community for Humanity, an NPF organization in Australia aiming to serve multicultural communities. So thank you very much, Parisa, for joining us. It is an absolute pleasure to have you on the panel. I know that Parisa today is going to talk to us about women participation and in Afghanistan and removing women from political participation particularly, and the impacts that they have in general on Afghanistan and in particular on the future political stability and political future of Afghanistan. Thank you very much. Welcome to our panel, Parisa. We are all ears. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nagar, for the kind introduction, and hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. It's a great pleasure to be part of this amazing panel, sharing the panel with the really active girls of my country. It's not always easy to talk about the situation of the Afghanistan, especially when you're a girl born there, raised there, and be active there. It has been a year since I left Afghanistan after all what happened in Afghanistan takeover. So it's not always easy for me to talk about the situation. So accept my apologies if I'm going to be emotional. Since taking control of the country in August 2021, the Taliban have imposed right-violating policies that have been created huge barriers to women's and girls' health, education, freedom of movement and expression, and associations, and deprived many of earned income. Afghanistan rapidly escalating humanitarian crisis right now. Following the Taliban takeover, thousands of girls deprived education and also right to work, millions of dollars lost income, and aid cutoffs. These all issues had the huge impact on the access to education, food, water, and healthcare right now in Afghanistan. Today, I want to focus more on the education and political participation and the government of the Taliban, and how it can affect today's and the future of girls in Afghanistan and the country as a whole. Thousands of women deprived of right to education and work since the Taliban takeover. Keeping girls out of a school, university, and workplace not only violates their rights and prevent them from realizing their full potential, but also affect their other aspects of their lives, as put them at increased risk of early marriages, early pregnancy, and violence and abuse. Violating women's rights to education not only affects women, but also the country as a whole. If we can imagine, today we close all the schools for women and girls in Afghanistan, and we will have a future with illiterate women, society, and as a whole illiterate country. Besides education, depriving them of work affects the families and country's economy. According to the United Nations, there are an estimate of 2 million widows in Afghanistan, which are the main breadwinner and the main source of income. Not allowing them to work has directly affected the families, as they don't have enough income to have the primary life necessities. Besides that, they put them, put the girls of the families under the risk of early marriages, and also families selling their daughters, as they cannot provide them with the life necessities. But besides all of that situation for the girls and the families, it can affect the country as a whole in a wider range. Afghanistan economy and country's GDP directly has the connection with the women working in the workplace. Afghanistan currently facing many economic issues, and this increased since Taliban banned women from education and work. According to the UNICEF, Afghanistan can gain $5 billion yearly if they can open the schools for girls and women. And we can see that how it can hugely affect the economic of the countries, not only just the economy of the country. Unfortunately, after the Taliban takeover, it was not just education that were deprived, women deprived from. It was like complete deletion of women from society and government. Before August 2021, we had more than 60 members of parliament as a woman, and active participation of women in every government offices and legal system. And it had huge impact on the on having the women in all the aspects of the society, and also having their rights. But unfortunately, right now, Afghanistan is the only country in the world that there is no woman in the cabinet and no woman in the government at all. This situation not only can affect today's of Afghanistan, which women cannot have the right to join the government, but also future of Afghanistan as well. As my colleague Dr. Farkhonde mentioned about the no women participation in Doha agreement. So this is the effect of what we had before. We didn't have any active participation of women in Doha agreement. That is why we have this today in Afghanistan. This is how male-dominated government are deciding for the women in Afghanistan, and it will continue till future if we have the same situation. We don't have any women right now in Afghanistan, in the government, in legal system, in the parliament, nowhere. So how we can expect the government and the lawmakers to make the law to benefit the women, to favor the women, when we don't have any women in the lawmaking system? So of course, Taliban won't take any action which can benefit and favor women. And if we just imagine 30 years later, when we didn't have any women today in the government, so there won't be any law favoring women, any law which can prevent the violence against women, any law to protect women. Right now, women are just sitting at home and thinking of their future, but in early future, we won't have any women to just think of their future. At least we have hope now that we can think of our future, but when we don't have any women participation, especially political participation, to have the power to create the laws and prevent the rights of women, we can have hope for future. But deleting the women from the society, and especially the government and legal system, will close all the doors for women and kill all the hopes for future. It cannot just affect the women, but also society and the whole country in the wider range. As we are seeing right now, all the countries ban Afghanistan, no recognition from the government, as there is no women participation. If this continues, it will create a very big issue for Afghanistan economically and politically. Having no diplomatic relation with none of the countries will put all the Afghan population in a really straight life, and also no opportunities and no life after this. If I want to talk about all the problems Afghan girls and women have right now, so it will take days and days, but focusing just on education and political participation, which is one of the most important rights, and other rights can come after that. Political participation can be one of the only ways to make sure that women have their rights. There should be someone in the government, in the power, to make sure that the women have their right. In my point of view, deleting women from the political participation in the government is the never can put, it is the way that started deleting from all other aspects of the society. If we delete women from the government, we can delete women from all the society. And having women in the government and cabinet can ensure the rights of women in education, in work, in freedom of speech, and every aspect of the government and society. Following this, at the end, I want to give some recommendation and ask for action, as my colleague Farkhonda talk about the recommendation to the international community and asking why we are silent. And it starts not just from the countries and international community, it starts from ourselves as well, why we are silent as women, as human. I don't want to really focus much on what international communities can, as Farkhonda Jan covered, and I'm sure Azada Jan will focus on that. My call for action is on the women activists around the world, what we can do and what is important for us to do. For women activists around the world, it's our responsibility to take an action and don't be silent now. If we keep silent today, our future will be worse. And it's not just, if today we are silent for Afghan women, tomorrow can be other women in other countries. It's not just about the fight of Afghan women, Iranian women, and Ukrainian women. It's the fight of women activists as a whole. And I'm calling upon women activists as a whole to take action. What we can do as a women activist is call upon our governments to take action. We can start campaigns, we can start social posts and campaigns to have the group and call upon our country to take action and join the Afghan women and be their voice. Unfortunately, nowadays Afghan women can't have any voice in Afghanistan due to the restriction imposed by Taliban. So this is the time to be their voice. Please be our voice and raise the voice. And as you can, share everything you have on social media. Share so the people who have the power can hear and take action. So it's just our responsibility to raise our voice and also try to ask our governments to take action. And my request is from also from the professionals. I'm sure some of the professionals in academia might be here, or after they can, if they hear my voice, I'm asking them to take action as well as they can. It's not just that we should wait for the governments to take action or international community to take action against the government. Today that I'm talking to you, none of the girls in Afghanistan have access to education and going to school. So the thing that professionals can do is to start a program, at least they can cover 10 girls in Afghanistan with their education. And this programs, I'm sure, can be really, really beneficial and create a hope for Afghani students in Afghanistan. So if anyone hear my voice from any universities and any institutions, I respect them and I request that please take an action and support Afghan women with their education and support as you can. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Parsa. That was fantastic, and I completely agree. I think it is important to empower the second generations by having representation. And I think it is very much easier. Just what you said about education. I remember when the Baha'is were excluded from education in Iran and were no longer allowed to go to universities. They started an undergraduate universities, underground university that was holding sessions and meetings in homes, and it should be actually very much better. But So, but it's a possibility now for you guys to start a campaign to have a university that works outside and produces degree for girls in Afghanistan who can connect. Hopefully, internet is still going to be connected. So, thank you very much for your insight. I'm sure there will be a lot of questions after we finish speaking.